Remember the meme, "We're back"? I'm pretty sure that that meme was running through the minds of many of you with Sam Ehlinger proclaiming after their 2018 Sugar Bowl win over Georgia. Also, more on the Sugar Bowl loss by Georgia later, just in a different year, many more years down the line. But anyway, I think that if Arizona State would have upset Texas, the entire college football universe would have taken a party horn and blown it in Steve Sarkisian's face. Steve Sarkisian has been under, I think, a lot of rightful criticism, and maybe it's just me, but I've criticized him game in and game out for managing some games rather poorly, or for never really having a team that has a functional red zone offense, even when they have all of this eye candy, all of these weapons, elite recruiting, elite trench play, fantastic development. There's something off with Texas. There was something off with them last year. It was the secondary. It was in part Quinn Ewers' inconsistency. There's something off about Texas this season. They are even more lethargic and anemic on offense than they were at times last season. And while their defense is elite, we've seen now for 2 games in a row on the biggest stage when it matters most that Texas and their inconsistencies on offense hurt the defense, and also that the defense can be got if you use certain methods to try and move them. We've seen it from Clemson. We've seen it from Arizona State. And Texas is going to get their biggest test of the year from their defense's perspective against Ohio State in the Cotton Bowl on December 10th. Or not December 10th, major gaffe by me right there. January 10th of 2025. Almost wish it was December 10th with how much has, changed in certain aspects in regards to the brackets, all the chaos, different things. But anyway, I encourage you, before we move on and talk about what was a fantastic Peach Bowl, to like the video, to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so that you can get notified when we go live, when we release new content here, and also comment your thoughts down below and answer me this question. How confident are you on a scale of 1 to 10 that Texas will beat Ohio State? And also, in regards to Arizona State, how long do you think Kenny Dillingham stays with the Sundevils before he gets a bigger job? You can say he'll never leave. There's a chance that happens, but Kenny Dillingham is going to be a name that is going to be highly sought after the coaching performance that he has put on display this season. It's been one of the most impressive, and some would argue it's been the most impressive in all of college football. So answer me those questions. Again, like, share, subscribe, hit the bell. By commenting your thoughts on this game down below, you're automatically entered into my giveaway. The 4 winners of my giveaway, the items which are $20 Visa card, $20 gift card to my merchandise store. 2 of them will be announced on January 9th at halftime of the Orange Bowl. The other 2 will be announced halftime the following day of the Cotton Bowl, where you'll be live to do play-by-play and color commentary for those games. If you want to support the channel monetarily and also talk college football with me in a Discord server, the links to all those and other great things are in the pinned comment and the description. But let's get back on topic here, shall we? So I think that when I look at this game, and I have to think about it because there's a lot of thoughts that flow through my mind. I think the moral of the story here, if you're Texas, is it's really difficult because Texas has done this all year where they're offensively inconsistent, but they put up more points than they did in this game, even against some better defenses, or at least similar points against better defenses. And they've not been able to run the football all year, and they haven't had this same scare against a team of Arizona State's talent level. But I think the lesson to be learned here is that when your defense is on the field for 38 minutes in regulation, and over 30 minutes by the end of the third quarter, they're going to get tired, especially when they are playing a battering ram like Cam Skattebo and a quarterback in Sam Leavitt who can maneuver all around the field and has very impressive stamina. And also an elite coaching staff. You got Marcus Arroyo, who I think has done a phenomenal job this year with Arizona State's offense. And then Kenny Dillingham is a great planner, a great coach, a great motivator, and prepared his team for a 60-plus minute battle. And at the end of the day, Quinn Ewers had one of his better games statistically of the year, 20 of 30, 322 yards, 10.7 yards per attempt, 3 touchdowns, a pick, 92 quarterback efficiency rating, and Texas couldn't run the ball. And Quinn Ewers accounted for all of Texas's touchdowns, all 4 of them, outside of Silas Bolden with the punt return for a touchdown. But all 4 of the offensive touchdowns were on Quinn Ewers. Rushing touchdown, 3 passing touchdowns, and Texas only averaged 1.8 yards per carry for 53 yards. I mean, they couldn't run the football. Them rushing the football against Arizona State looked like Texas rushing the football against Georgia in the SEC championship game, who has one of the better defensive fronts in all of college football in terms of size, in terms of speed, in terms of discipline, in terms of all of these other things. They have one of the best, if not the best, defensive front. And defensive front is not just defensive line, but like linebackers. It's incredibly hard to run the football on Georgia. I did not think that Texas would struggle this mightily to run the football against Arizona State. I mean, that was the biggest reason why Arizona State got in the game, like back in the game. It was 17-3 at half, remember? And then Arizona State got down the field once again inside the red zone, and Texas's defense got a goal line stand at the 2. And then Quinn Ewers hands it off to Quintravion Wisner. Texas's O-line gives up outside leverage and also inside leverage, and Quintravion Wisner gets popped, and the ball comes out. It's in the end zone, and Ewers picks it up and falls down so that he doesn't fumble it, and Arizona State gets a safety. Then Arizona State drives down the field, and they kick a field goal, which was strange because they've been aggressive all game, but I think they figured we just need to get points here. So they kicked a field goal and made it 17-8. Then Texas went down and got a touchdown on a 5-minute, 24-second drive. And then I thought the game was over at 24-8. But no, there's more. Arizona State drives down the field. It's 4th and 2 at like the Texas 42 or something. That's actually, yes, that's exactly where it was. 4th and 2 at the Texas 42. They toss it to Skattebo. You think it's going to be a disastrous run, but very quickly you realize, oh, they're going to force Skattebo to pass this thing. He throws it to Malik McClain, who has beaten the 2 Texas DBs who actually recognized it was going to be a halfback pass. Skattebo throws one of the worst passes I've ever seen. It looks like it's an offensive lineman who's never thrown a pass before, and all of a sudden he's playing quarterback. That's what Cam Skattebo looked like. The worst pass, no spiral. Malik McClain adjusts and catches it, goes into the end zone for a touchdown, and then 2-point conversion is good with a perfect Sam Leavitt throw. Then Texas, well, they get the ball back, and Ewers throws a pick. Skattebo makes an amazing catch down the sidelines where he torches Michael Taff, and then he runs into the end zone about like 2 plays later for a score. Then we get a failed 2-point conversion, a holding call on Texas. They committed a ton of penalties in this game, and then Skattebo runs into the end zone barreling again for a 2-point conversion. It was insanity. It was crazy. I mean, at one point early in the 4th, this was 7:44 left in the game. Texas had a 99.9% chance to win the game per FPI. 2nd and 10 at the 20. It was actually 3rd and 10 at the 50, pardon me, with 7:44 left to go. And then from there, we get into 1 minute 31 seconds left in the game. 1st and 10 at the ASU 30. And Arizona State's given a 62.4% chance to win this game after Bert Auburn misses his field goal. And then Texas, after Arizona State has to punt on that drive with a controversial no call on what looked to be a targeting initially, but I don't know the rules enough to say whether it was or wasn't, Texas goes down the field, and Bert Auburn kicks a field goal off the uprights. It was a really good game. It was crazy. It was impressive to watch how bad Texas was at pulling away. And it was also impressive to watch how Arizona State never quit. And I think that this was another game for Texas similar to Clemson. I don't know what it is. Whether Texas checks out too early or it's just guaranteed they're going to play one quarter of really terrible football. They can never pull away from anyone. It was the same thing last season. Nearly choked at TCU. Tried to lose to Kansas State after establishing a massive lead. Was down to Oklahoma for the whole game. Comes back, establishes some control, then completely implodes. With Washington just diced them for the entire game. And even though Texas had some matchup edges, they just couldn't execute. And the Alabama game, which they won early in the year, was an outlier. And it was also revealed that Alabama was pretty bad early in 2023. This season, early Michigan win. We all think it's very impressive, at least at the time. Well, turns out Michigan was 7-5 and was worse at the beginning of the year compared to the end of the year. Oklahoma, 34-3, good win for the rivalry, but Oklahoma had a losing record, 6-6. Program's on fire. The next best wins were what? Florida, without DJ Lagway. Texas A&M on the road, where the offense only put up 17 points and Ewers threw an awful pick six. Kentucky. Just thinking about Texas under Steve Sarkisian, there's so much to praise. He has brought them back, but there are also things that still need to be fixed. And Texas is not, as of now, on the mountaintop. That can change, though. You know, if they beat Ohio State in the Cotton Bowl, who's to say they're not going to win it all? I don't think anyone can, given how good Ohio State is right now. And as for Arizona State, before we close it all out here, what a job by Kenny Dillingham. You know, you got Colorado with infinitely more talent. Kansas State, Iowa State are better established. I mean, even Kansas has been more established as of recently than Arizona State has, because Arizona State was coming off of sanctions and just a really bad football team last season, really bad in some of the later years of Herm Edwards with the Sundevils as their head coach. Utah, preseason favorite, more established team. Oklahoma State, same thing. Arizona State was picked either to be last or to be one of the worst teams, in the Big 12. And I was kind of there too. I put together a massive list of the best players in the Big 12. I didn't include anyone for Arizona State. That's a shame on me. But there's also to say how far above expectations Kenny Dillingham hit. And that's very impressive. And he's built a great staff, especially on offense, but also credit to that Arizona State defense, because they held Texas to 375 total yards. They forced a turnover. They forced him to punt several times. Texas only had 17 first downs, and they punted 3 times. They missed 2 of their field goals, which has to do with special teams where, look, Arizona State was the inferior team to Texas there. But Texas's O-line false started several times. Why? Because in run blocking, they couldn't block Arizona State's defensive line. And Arizona State also had 3 sacks. They had 9 tackles for loss, 4 passes defended against guys who, in terms of likely future NFL talent and certainly high school star rating, shouldn't even be playing in the same league or stadium as they are. It's impressive. So good for Kenny Dillingham. I don't know what Arizona State's future is next year, but I know that Sam Leavitt, if he stays there, is going to be one of the best, if not the best, quarterbacks in the Big 12 next season. And in a league that is deprived of blue-chip talent, having someone like Leavitt, having a coach like Dillingham, who, has gotten recruits from Texas, like whether it's from the portal, where several former Texas players were mentioned. Arizona State's bringing in some transfers, for example, from other programs they have, and they've been very successful there. And again, their staff is good. I think that Marcus Arroyo, very similar to Pete Kwiatkowski at Texas and Johnny Nansen, they've rebuilt sides of the football that came under intense scrutiny or were just simply not good or had very, very big flaws last season. And Kwiatkowski's defense is very much improved. It's one of the best in the country, might be the best in the country. It, again, looks like Ohio State's that right now, but for a while during the regular season, it looked like Texas here. Arroyo has turned this offense into something that is quite incredible. And then you have, Brian Ward as the defensive coordinator. You have Hines Ward as the assistant coach and wide receivers coach. He's a guy who had a ton of success in the NFL, legend in the NFL, best of the best, and he is Arizona State's wide receivers coach. Just absolutely incredible. So kudos to Arizona State. Kudos to Texas. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel, and also hit that notification bell so that way you can get notified when new content from College Football with Sam drops. I appreciate you very much, and also share the video around to others who enjoy the sport of college football and love it as I do and as you do, and comment your thoughts down below so that we can have a conversation, because I want to know what you are thinking. And join our Discord server where we talk college football 24/7 via the link in the description or down below in the pinned comment. Thank you to my Heisman Patreon members, Crash2488, Brascal Rascal, and Kylo OH. Thank you to my All-American Patreon members, Chris Lane, Ismar, and Tyler Nye. And thank you to my All-Conference members, John Lynn, Roaming Gnome, Matthew Sale, Austin Christmas, Joshua Jorgensen, and Will Loftus. Make sure to check out my merchandise store and or Patreon page, or Super Chat down in the comment section below to support the channel. The Patreon page and merchandise store links are in the description or down below in the pinned comment. I hope you have a wonderful day. It is December, so Merry Christmas and also Happy New Year. I will see you guys soon.